2025. There are 251 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 1039 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Going to have an update. Going to talk with Colonel Debbie Childress. Going to talk Art in the Park coming up in the month of May. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's B. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
On your phone over there, if you just had to guess, how many pictures of Alea do you think you have on your phone?
I don't even know.
Would you guess, would you think the average parent has nearly 2,000 photos and videos of their little ones on their camera roll?
At least.
Yeah.
I would think at least.
Yeah, I mean, over, just over 7 years or so. It wouldn't be that high for grandson because he's, not quite a year
Right.
old, but it'll get there at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to do some math, but yeah, I would think.
And then especially we're the people who, you're trying to get one good photo, so you take 20 to get the
yours,
one, the
yours
best
would
one.
be higher than mine.
Yeah, because I do the snap, and then it's
Right.
just so hard to sift through and clean up. But that's almost 3 pictures every single day. By the way, is what on average to get to an average of 2,000 of what they say.
You know, there is an app for that.
An app that will
Clean up.
they'll clean up. Oh, I'm gonna have to talk about that.
Yes.
That might.
There is. I just, the other day, I meant to say something to
Does
you,
it throw
actually.
out the ones with eyes closed and?
I don't know if it goes that far,
know.
but it's
Maybe
pretty
just
smart from what I've seen.
Merge them into one photo or do whatever. I don't know. It sounds handy.
Yes.
He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley. And the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Well, I don't want to go any further because I'm going to forget. Sorry to hear about the loss in your family.
Thank you.
From,
Yes.
Tuesday, you were without us yesterday, and your mom, Adele, lost her mother, I guess, on Tuesday, and so our prayers with you all. She lived a very long life.
Yeah. She was about 2 weeks shy of her 97th birthday, so she did a lot, and we're all at peace knowing that she's no longer suffering, and that's helping us as much as it can through this moment.
I know you got to have a visit with her not long ago, and so you'll forever treasure that. I was very impressed, and I was touched by your mom when she made the announcement. She tagged you and obviously some more family members, and she used the word "we." I suppose she was talking about her siblings, but just from what your mom wrote, I felt very informed, and like in a way I knew her because it was way more than I ever knew about her. But the way that she laid it out, their time in California and then relocating to Kentucky to be closer to family. Anyway, I thought your mom did a very eloquent job of that.
It was beautiful.
Yes, she did, and they're all writers at heart. All of the sisters are. So they did she did a good job, and they sent the obituary a little bit earlier this morning, and it's very well done as well.
Yeah, I can imagine that it is. Anyway, prayers with all of you all.
Thank you.
As you go through the loss of your grandmother. Today, weather-wise, we are going to see warm conditions, and we're going to see some scattered afternoon storms. Over the next 12 hours, we'll see scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Widespread rain for your Friday will gradually dry out on Saturday. We're watching some Derby week rain chances. Right now, there's about a 40% chance for Thurby, about a 30% chance for Oaks Day, and about a 20% chance for Derby Day. But that obviously this far out is subject to change. But it looks like the possibility of some wet weather over the course of the Derby weekend, which I guess kicks off. Are they still doing Tuesday, the 5-0 Tuesday probably? And then it's just, a big week at Churchill Downs next week. So officially today, scattered afternoon thunderstorms. We'll see a 40% chance of rain and a high of 80. Scattered thunderstorms tonight, a low of 62. Tomorrow, thunderstorms, rain chance of 90% and a high of 75 for your Friday afternoon. While we're talking about weather, I did see from the governor's office yesterday a release that FEMA has denied more counties the February emergency declaration. We've had recent rounds of flooding, one of them just weeks ago, but then in February we had significant flooding, and primarily it was over in Knox, Laurel, but Lawrence County, it's just more central Kentucky. Whitley County is involved. But Butler County is one of the counties that FEMA said did not meet. They denied public assistance for the counties that they say did not rise to the level of the disaster declaration that they were asking for. What that means in actual walking around knowledge and nuts and bolts and in practice, I have no idea. But in case you're impacted by that, perhaps the information may be helpful to you. President Trump and his administration have been trying to go back and forth between Russia and Ukraine, trying to end the war. And the latest peace deal would cede some of the territory that Russia had taken in Ukraine, and it would cede Crimea. Zelensky and his people balked at that idea, and so the firefight continued over the last 24 hours. But it sounds like frustrations are escalating all the way around, including for the Trump administration. Also, hearing yesterday the kind of softening on the China tariff talk. So I don't know if they've accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, or if they saw that it just wasn't going to go that they wanted it to go. But there's still movement in that space as well. I heard the president say a couple of days ago, and then I heard it on Fox News a few minutes ago, that the price of eggs was down 83%. Well, that hasn't found its way to the grocery store shelves yet. They are down, but they're not down 83%. And so it takes a while for those to cycle through and see some relief at the grocery store checkout line. A large garage was destroyed in Litchfield late last night. The LFD responded to the blaze about 11:20 last night in the 300 block of Hendrick Street. Firefighters found a detached garage fully engulfed in flames. The roof of the building had partially collapsed. They got the blaze under control, but the building was a total loss. Cause of the fire currently unknown. The building didn't have electricity, according to LFD personnel. No injuries were reported, so that's the good news, but obviously property loss. The state police, I saw from PAO Sharp yesterday, said that a teenage passenger has died in a crossover crash in Nelson County. State police responded to the accident Tuesday night about 6 on Fairfield Road in Cox's Creek. The investigation said a 26-year-old Jonathan Hood of Lawrenceburg was driving a Chevy Silverado on Fairfield Road when he crossed the center line into the path of an 05 Chevy Silverado being driven by a 17-year-old juvenile. Both Hood and the juvenile driver were transported to U of L Hospital with life-threatening injuries. A passenger in the juvenile's vehicle, an 18-year-old Mackenzie Razor of Bardstown, was pronounced deceased at the scene by the Nelson County Coroner's Office. If you go on to the east from Nelson County, you'll find your way, you got to go a little to the south too, you'll find yourself in Adair County, where their school system there has canceled classes for tomorrow so that students can attend the funeral of an 8th grader who was killed in a DUI crash on recently. It's a 14-year-old Skyler is his name, but his friends call him Sky Colton Huckabee. He died in early Sunday morning in a DUI crash near the Adair-Russell County line. You can read more about that at K105.com. We do have a little more information on the pawn shop burglary suspect and arrest that has been made. The Bowling Green Police Department said that the Litchfield burglary suspect, a 28-year-old Dwayne Holshoe, was observed Tuesday afternoon by Lowe's asset protection personnel who claim Holshoe committed a felony theft from the store on April 5, according to the BGPD. So if that occurred on the 5th, I'm not sure, what transpired to happening on the 22nd. So perhaps we'll learn that. The Bowling Green Police Department responded to the store there, took him into custody on a shoplifting charge. He also had multiple warrants out for his arrest. They also located the other individuals in the 1900 block of Mel Browning Street and placed the suspects in custody on various charges, drugs, etc. So Anyway, it looks like they're getting closer to figuring out what happened and solving some of those crimes. Senate Transportation Committee Chair Jimmy Higdon from Lebanon has been joined by 27 members of the Senate Majority Caucus, and they've sent a formal letter to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security requesting a delay of the federal Real ID enforcement date, which is currently set for May 7th. The letter is direct response to growing concerns from Kentuckians across the state who are still unable to access driver's licensing services due to limited appointment availability and long lines for walk-ins. I don't know if I could more strongly object or disagree to a letter being written and sent to the Department of Homeland Security. It is laughable that we've been dealing with Real ID or the idea of Real ID for 20 years, and we've received multiple exemptions and extensions, and the date is finally here. And if we're not prepared, we only have ourselves to blame. One additional problem with the calculus here is Kentucky recently took the driver's licensing mechanism and moved it away from the circuit court clerks and moved it to the transportation cabinet specifically. The legislature also passed legislation this year saying 15-year-olds could get their permits. These were all known things when they passed that. The May 7 deadline has been the May 7 deadline. In Nashville, they have been telling people for more than 2 years, on May 7, 2025, this ID will no longer, you'll no longer be able to board an aircraft. If you aren't planning to fly anytime soon, you don't need to worry about the May 7th deadline. If you are and you don't have a passport, then you should. But at what point in time do we accept responsibility and say, we're not prepared just because we just decided not to get prepared? If not now, if we extend it to October the 7th, then in October, you're going to have a bunch of people go in October, I'm not ready, I can't get an appointment. So at what point in time do we say enough is enough? So I doubt that the federal government is going to grant the extension, because if they have to grant it, they'll grant it times 50. The TSA either enforces the Real ID rule or they don't. They're not going to pick and choose based upon from airport to airport. So we'll see what happens. I understand the legislators making the ask, because then they get credit for making the ask with the constituents who aren't prepared. But realistically, come on, no matter when the date is, you're going to find people that go, well, I didn't know. Well, we've only been talking about it in earnest for 10 years, but it was passed as part of the Real ID Act in 2005, which was an outgrowth of September 11th. So how long, we all know how long ago that was. Yesterday, Whitney and I inverted Travis Perry and Trent Noah, and we were talking about the people from Appalachia, which I don't think I was incorrect on anything I said about the people from Appalachia, except that in this particular case, it was a kid from Western Kentucky who is transferring from the university and got into the portal at the 11th hour. Was he committed to play? We know Noah was committed to play at South Carolina. Was Travis Perry committed to play somewhere else before committing to Kentucky?
No, it was Trent Noah was signed to South Carolina, and when everything happened, he asked for his release. South Carolina granted that, and then he obviously, Trent Noah ended up at Kentucky. But no, Travis Perry, he was down to Cincinnati, Western, Ole Miss, Kentucky, and there might have been one more school in there. And now it sounds like it's maybe going to be between those schools other than Kentucky for him to play his college basketball next year.
I would just encourage. Is he considering Western? Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Okay. I wondered if we talked about directionals being a possibility, even though we had their identities inverted on the fly. It does make a little more sense. Trent Noah got, of the available minutes, I thought Noah made better use of the minutes he got than Travis did, but Travis was very valuable and benefited from the playing time due to the injuries. The other thing I guess that I would say as far as Kentuckians go, I wouldn't be too critical of the coach, because you're not hearing all you see is a kid getting into the portal, and you take that as a sign of saying, well, he doesn't have a spot, or we don't want him, or it may have nothing to do with any of that stuff. The school is going to be very limited on what they can say. and the player and their family is probably going to be limited in what they choose to say. He's just moving on, and my guess is everybody wants what's best for everyone involved, and this is likely it. I don't blame him, and I don't blame Pope.
Yeah, no, and I know Matt Jones said yesterday that he doesn't think this was a Mark Pope saying "here's the door" kind of thing. I think this was a 100% Perry family decision. And I mean, Western's an interesting one. I know when you think back to Chris Gaither, his summer tournament that he puts on every year 2 years ago, so not this past summer, but the summer before, Grayson County was the last team that got added in, and they got the reward that Chris Gaither gave them of playing Lyon County in the first round. And
what a treat.
Yeah, they were the last team that added about a week before, and they said, yep, you're going to play Lyon County. And I think Travis Johnston was like, oh, well, thanks. That's what you're supposed to do to your fellow alums, but okay. And I was there when they played Travis Perry, and Travis Perry's grandma sat behind me. And it was fun listening to her going through, like, there's Matt Painter from Purdue. There's this person. There's this person. Clearly she had been involved in the recruiting. And then when she got to one of Western's assistants, it was like a little flutter in her heart. It was like, and that's Martin, who is one of their assistants, and he's still there. And it was just funny. So when I heard that, I was like, well, listen, Granny wants him to go to Western, and if Granny knows best, then you can't go against Granny in that case.
He'd be a great get for Western.
I agree.
Especially pulling out of Eddyville and Lyon County and all of Western Kentucky. I just think whatever NIL they can put together for him, he'd be a star there. So want the best for him, and best of luck. By the way, we've got to get to a break, but I do like to keep you up to date on if you have teenagers in your household. It is hard to keep track of the teenage language that they speak. One, the memes they use, the emoji that they use, and the secret language they speak in. They've also gone from, I saw Barry post the other day, he said we went from man to son to bro to bruh. Right? We've gone through all the iterations and we're at bruh. Well, now if you hear your kids saying good boy or good girl, that is a TikTok or viral sensation of someone who you say, give me a pencil, and someone gives you the pencil. You say, good boy, like you're telling your dog, good boy or good girl. So don't be surprised when you hear that. It is not something they've invented. It is something that they have learned online.
Gertie raised her eyebrows.
Of course.
Like, good girl.
Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl?
Now she's wagging her tail.
We got to get to a break. We're going to speak with the Colonel. Colonel Debbie Childress is standing by. Art in the Park is just weeks away, and you can participate. We'll tell you how. Coming up here on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
The mobile unit from Intensive Health brings trusted, high-quality addiction treatment right to your community. Serving 5 counties, including Grayson, our innovative services offer telehealth treatment, mental health counseling, medical health assessments, primary care, and general medical services. We also offer hepatitis C and HIV screenings and treatment. No more long travels for essential care. We are discreet and accessible. Visit intensivehealth.com to find out more. A StepWorks recovery service.
Successful small business owners know that having an ally in decoding the data of your business performance is vital. A trusted source that can interpret financial reports, advise on tax code, and assess overall performance can be the difference between sleepless nights and peace of mind. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart is your ally in making sure your business is performing at an optimum level. Call or contact today to find out how Buckles, Travis & Hart can help fine-tune your business to create peak performance. 270-259-5604. GreasonCPAs.com.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start May 11th. Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, College for the Real World.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. This is a time for our community to unite and protect the most vulnerable among us. At Casa of the Heartland, we believe that every child deserves to feel safe and loved. But sadly, not every child has that luxury. That's where you can make a difference. By supporting Casa of the Heartland, you're supporting a network of dedicated volunteers who stand up for children in need.
As a CASA volunteer, I've seen the impact of our advocacy firsthand. These children deserve our support and protection. I chose to do my part, and you can too.
Because of my CASA, I was able to go back to my family.
Let's do our part to prevent child abuse and neglect. Together, we can create a brighter future for the children in our community. To learn more about becoming a CASA volunteer, visit casaheartland.org or call 270-982-2274.
Instagram is launching a standalone video creation app. Matt Mattinson fills us in.
Edits allows users to shoot and edit video using features like background replacement and automatic captioning. Instagram had announced Edits back in January. Its features are similar to TikTok's sister app CapCut. TikTok's future in the U.S. remains uncertain as its parent company ByteDance faces a mid-June deadline to sell the app or have it banned in the country.
Google continues to defend itself in court after a federal court ruled the tech giant operates a monopoly. The Department of Justice is proposing a package of remedies to end the tech giant's illegal monopoly and restore competition. The hearing, which started on Monday, is going to determine if the company can remain in its current form or if it's going to have to face penalties, like selling off its Chrome web browser. And data and identity security company Jumio is launching an AI-driven biometric identity verification platform called Cross Transaction Risk. It offers ongoing intelligence in real time. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Today is Pigs in a Blanket Day. It's New Kids on the Block Day, and it is Love Your Thighs Day. If you overdo it with the pigs in the blanket, you're going to, you will love your thighs even more day. It's also the day we say good morning and welcome back. We are talking with the Colonel, Colonel Debbie Childress from the Grayson County Alliance. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning.
Good to see you, as always. Anything exciting? Before I ask you if anything is exciting, the Alliance is one of seasons. Like you go through the seasons of you're doing tax. You went through Empty Bowls season recently, and now you're shifting into Art in the Park season. So I guess that's what the exciting thing that's going on right now.
Absolutely. We're never a dull moment here at the food pantry, never a slow moment either. So it's finishing tax season. We had a record season, did 350 free tax filings. And so your folks know that on May the 5th, we're doing one extended day because of the tax deadline extended. So if you didn't get the job done, we can still help you on May the 5th. Give us a call. But we're glad to see that season close. It made Mondays pretty hard. And we're constantly moving and making things happen.
Are there any, before we talk about Art in the Park, are there any urgent needs that you have? Anything that you're dealing with that is new that you say, well, this is a problem that hasn't presented itself before that someone might be able to solve for you?
I don't know about a particular thing. I just helping everybody stay mindful of no matter what's going on in your life or the culture or our nation as a whole, there's one thing that remains the same. There are people that are struggling with food insecurity. And sometimes the economy or the struggles nationally elevate that dependency on services like ours, but it also can diminish the support that we rely on as a nonprofit. So we serve a government program, but we don't get paid to do that. All of our funds are raised through grants, foundations, our fundraisers, and individuals that want to give of their time and their financial support. And so as those things ebb and flow in the nation and in our communities, it's also ebbing and flowing for those of us in the nonprofit sector. And people get nervous and sometimes they hold back. Well, we can't hold back our services. So I just encourage everybody to remember that you can invest in something locally that you know is impacting local families and elevating a change in Grayson County by supporting us through a lot of things, including Kentucky Gives Day coming up on May 13th, getting involved and being one of our coaches that teaches our financial literacy class. I mean, there's lots of ways to get plugged into us, but we need our community to join with us in what we're doing.
I have said multiple times through this, I will call it the season of Doge, the first 100 days of the Trump administration. I don't know. I know of very few, I guess, Grayson Countyans who would say, no, I love fraud, waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. We're not going to find anybody who says that. And we all say we want all of that trimmed out and we want to stop providing perhaps USAID or whatever it is. But my contention at that point was we're going to quickly find out where the source of federal funds oozes out into communities in ways that you had no idea before, whether they're grants or whether they're activities or programs or things. Well, all of a sudden, you're going to find this coming home to roost where a program that is near and dear to you was getting federal funds that someone deemed to be wasteful, and now they're no longer there. And it must quake the earth of people like you operating entities and providing services like you do.
It does, and to some degree. As a believer, my hope is not anything that's happening on this planet, but my faith and trust is in Jesus. And I lay my head down at night and know that it's going to be okay, even if it's hard. I try to live by both and. It's not an either or situation. It's both and. Both we need to look at fraud. Any of us, we would never allow this in our own personal budget. We need to look at fraud, but we also need to be mindful of what is our responsibility to our fellow man and what does that impact us financially? So I'm just doing what I'm called to do and the best I can do it and trust in the Lord for all the outcomes.
I think the phrase is God will provide, and that's what you're trusting in. When we enter this Art in the Park season, usually the end of April and early days of May, we typically get an opportunity to talk with you twice, and they're for two very specific reasons. The first is primarily an all call to artists or wannabe artists, because this is the proper amount of time for them to get organized and get prepared for the upcoming show. I suppose that's what you're here today to do?
Absolutely. There are a lot of talented folks that have started with Art in the Park. That was the first place they ever vendored and sold their art. And those people now we have several, Jackie Pierce, Paula Haynes are two that come to mind, that they stepped into the space at Art in the Park, but have beautiful careers and have excelled professionally. And so we are a great starting place for that person who has honed their craft to a certain degree, because we're a fine arts and crafts show. So you have to be invited to the show. So you apply, we review your work, and then we give you an invitation or not to vendor at the show. So it's a high quality show, but it's also a great place to start your career as an artist. And so it's a beautiful picture of how we can elevate art at every level. So yes, we are looking for vendors at this time. There are some slots left. We had a number of people get in early this year, so we don't have as many as we normally do at this time. I am excited to say we have a reach out across Kentucky now, and a few out-of-state vendors that we're considering. But we've just invited a young man from Paducah who happened to have won a competition as a high schooler and had a stamp that was made from his Canadian goose. And this picture was on display for a year at the Smithsonian.
Oh, wow.
So how cool is that? And we're going to get to see him for the first time at our show. So there's room for everybody, and it's simple. It's gcaartinthepark.org. You can find the applications and forms on that website. You can see what we've done in the past and how our show is, and it's just a great place to get started.
I know the student competition is juried, but is the entire show juried?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every vendor there has been selected to be there.
And does that make it more attractive, if you will, to people who are away from the area? When they realize that it's scrutinized a little bit and that maybe the quality is going to be a bit higher, does that make them want to be part of it more?
Absolutely, because it draws a different bit of the crowd. The people coming to Art in the Park, many of them will have a sense of appreciation for fine arts. And so as a juried show, we let that vendor know that, I love a good craft fair, okay?
Sure.
But that's not what this is. I love a good t-shirt rack that has the great slogans on the shirt. I love all that, but that's not what this is. And so they know they're walking into a space that not only can they elevate their craft, but they're going to interact with some amazing, talented artists that they can cultivate relationships and build some mentoring within it. So it's just a great place to learn and grow as an artist as well.
Also, something I know about people, you mentioned some specifically that started, with this event and blossomed into things. I think there's an artist hidden in a lot of people, and it's just kind of covered up. They have no idea. Someone like me might do something, a hobby or a craft of some sort, and I look at it as an activity. I don't really look at it as art. And sometimes it takes some encouragement, and sometimes it takes the public seeing that craft, that craftsmanship, or that artisanal idea, and saying, that's art. I find beauty in that. And so this is a great platform to kind of foster or incubate the artists that might be existing in people, and they might not even know it.
That's right. We work hard to curate a show that has a diversity, whether you like leatherworks, wood turning, glass, paint, acrylics, oils, watercolors, landscapes, just whatever it is. We try to cultivate that, but it's more than that too, because Art in the Park is the music. And so Lesson Downs, she runs our music, our onstage music, and there's opportunities if somebody's listening that maybe they're a vocalist or they play an instrument, they can connect with Leslie and get an opportunity to be on stage. Maybe you have, maybe you're dramatic prose. Maybe you've written a poem and you'd like to share your poem. The arts are expansive, and we really want to cultivate that. And that's why your all's partnership at K105 and Litchfield Tourism continuing to invest in this festival that is so exciting, because here in Grayson County, there's not a lot of opportunities to cultivate the arts. And here's a spot that it's free admission, free parking, free children's activities, free music, great food, and fantastic experience to be inspired, which is, I think, what you were talking about. You can walk the aisles of Art in the Park and be inspired for what you might produce or might purchase to bless somebody else.
I hate to drop this grenade at your feet while we're doing a live interview, but has anybody ever talked about the culinary arts, of having a division like the culinary arts at Art in the Park?
No. Good idea.
I say you should talk to say like Mudsville Bakery, Mudsville Bakehouse, and
I love me some Mudsville Bakery bread.
Absolutely.
That's definitely an idea. Kind of thinking about like what the state fair. It reminds me of touring the state fair and seeing all the culinary arts opportunities. So cake decorating, I can't do it, but I love to see it and eat it.
When you see one, you say that's art. If anything is art, that is. And I think that's what I'm trying to convey is that many people, it's about the prism they're looking through might not be one of saying, okay, I'm looking for art. But when you see something, you say, well, that's a work of art. I mean, that took someone's hands, and they had to first be inspired. They had to put it together, and then they had to showcase it. But I also I think Art in the Park should get some credit for something, or at least be known to be a part of it, is that when we were approached years and years ago about participation and partnership, and I said anything that will deepen the cultural pool of the community, I'm for, and I will support. But I think that this event, in a singular way, designating it annually and it having the longevity that it has, I think has encouraged other artistic events that might not be as large or to the scale, but like Bev's kids that come and do the square for big events,
Right.
or just small things of showcasing works of art in ways that without a signature event, without something underpinning the community, those things might wither. And so I think there's a synergy across all of those things, and I think Art in the Park should get a lot of credit for that.
Well, I agree. I think it's been a great place for other things to jump off of, and we love seeing that. We love participating in those when we can, and we certainly want to cultivate with our students because we want them to flourish in their God-given talents. But I think it's great, and it goes way back, Mark. This is pre-me. I've only been here 10 years and just participated as a community person before that. But I saw Kelly the other day, Stevenson, and we were talking just a little bit about at the tourism meeting how it all started so long ago with just a few people, he and Rita and Linda and Park Gentry and a few others that said, hey, I think this is a good fit for the Alliance to give back to the community and a good way to cultivate what we all know is missing here. So it's just how the community responds to community, and we do something good.
And I as it pertains to the Alliance, one of the things that I like is that you instead of having one key event that you sort of lean on for your entire thing, you have these smaller seasonal events that I think people can more easily champion and get behind, whether it's Ducking Hunger Regatta, and that's fun, and that's got a fun spirit, and it has its own season, and Empty Bowls has its own season, and Art in the Park has its own season. I think I like the way that these events keep the Alliance top of mind with the community and feel a way that instead of, well, okay, we do this once a year, it's an ongoing ministry that people can participate in a benevolent way.
Yeah, and the diversity of those fundraisers, you can get plugged in where your niche is, regardless of whether it's Empty Bowls, Art in the Park, or Ducking Hunger. What gets you excited, you can partner with us on, and every dollar here is making an impact and staying here, and that's important to many of us, that we want to see our dollars at work in our community. And Art in the Park, another thing we want to call out today is not just those artists for vendors, but everybody has an opportunity to be a part of the Tiny Art Show.
Oh, yeah.
So they can have their own individual art on display, and then it'll benefit the food pantry. So
it's Saturday, May 17th. I don't know if we've been overly clear about the date, but if you want to be a vendor and a participant in the show, you'll get reminded about attending the show again before the date, I promise you. But it is at the James D. Bevel Park in Litchfield, May 17th from 9 to 4. The location, if weather doesn't cooperate, don't worry, your decoupage isn't going to get rained on. It'll be moved inside the Grayson County Middle School, as it was in 2024, which is a great fallback location. But the primary location, the desired location, is James D. Bevel City Park. On socials, Instagram, GC Art in the Park, Facebook, GC Art in the Park, email gcartinthepark@gmail.com, 259-4000, gcartinthepark.org. What did I leave out, Colonel? Anything?
nothing. But if you're not there, you're missing it on May the 17th.
You are indeed, and you'll come back soon and remind us of why we should be there. Thanks for the time. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right, thank you.
That's Colonel Debbie Childress from the Grayson County Alliance. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. We've got more on the way. Today's Did You Know is coming right up here on In the Know. Midway Pharmacy is your trusted local partner in health and wellness, offering free delivery so you never have to worry about picking up your medications. The friendly staff knows you by name and is always ready to assist you. Living and raising our families in the same community, they understand your needs. With a wide range of services and personalized care, Midway Pharmacy is here to make your life easier and healthier. Visit or call any countywide location today of Midway Pharmacy.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 30 to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works. Call 1-800-206-6755. 1-800-206-6755. 1-800-206-6755. Consolidated Credit Counseling Services, Inc., 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 1492, Oregon DM 80092. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action, not a loan company.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort. Now, I know you're probably spelling comfort in your head and asking yourself, is that possible? Am I just a really bad speller? Look, I don't know your spelling aptitude, but Skechers most definitely put the S in comfort because Skechers is the comfort technology company and has developed fits and features that change everything you know about comfort, like hands-free Skechers slip-ins, the ultimate in comfort and convenience. It's footwear you just step into and they're on, with no bending down. Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast for this afternoon. Most of us seeing highs in the 70s. For tonight, any rain still across the region will fade, and we'll see temperatures dropping down into the 50s and low 60s by tomorrow morning. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrews.
Johnny was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles song. Love me do, I think it wasn't from there, it didn't take him
Did you know all of Earth's continents are wider at the north than in the south, and no one knows why? If you look at the shape of all the continents, you notice they taper wider to narrow, north to south, and there doesn't seem to be a good scientific explanation for that.
That's interesting.
Sam, did you get busy working on your doodles for the Art in the Park while the Colonel and I were speaking?
If you listen to her, she said that you have to be accepted into said show.
Not for tiny art.
Not
Do you
for
know
tiny
what the
art.
theme is?
No, I don't know. Do I?
I do. It's food.
Food is
Oh.
the thing. Oh, that's
Listen,
when you were showing the cake?
I would be just a little embarrassed that there would be like 3 or 4 left at the end, and it would all be mine if I would do it because nobody would want to buy mine. You'd be better off having Brady James paint something, and it would look better than whatever I'd do.
It's okay because see what happens is they go, the ones that are not sold, they go in another area, And you can go back
The trash
to
can,
look
is that
for,
mine?
No, they don't. Anyway,
A hole in the ground.
there's a special place for them. They don't. Yes.
What, like a farm upstate? Is that where mine goes?
It's called the Isle of Misfit Tiny Art.
That would be mine.
Oh my goodness.
See, it stinks.
Vanished.
My dad had a great, I mean, has a ton of talent when it comes to art, and I got my mom's talent, which is none.
Yeah, that means you're a writer.
I was gonna say your mother is talented.
Yes, oh yeah, she's talented, and she would be fully admitting that she has no art talent in the least at
More
all.
The performance art. Or
Yeah, she
the
played violin.
language
There you
arts.
go.
Yeah, there you go. The American Music Award nominations are out. Kendrick Lamar and Post Malone lead the list. Artist of the Year, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Chappell Roan, Kendrick Lamar, Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, Sabrina Carpenter, SZA, Taylor Swift, and Zach Bryan. New artist, Shabuzi's in there, Teddy Swims is in there, Benson Boone is in there, Chappell Roan. There were some others. Beyonce's nominated for Album of the Year, of course. So is Billie Eilish. So is Kendrick Lamar. So is Post Malone. Song of the Year. I always enjoy Song of the Year because there are certain songs that just you wonder what song has captured the year. Benson Boone's Beautiful Things has been popular. Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather, you can't really haven't been able to escape. Some of these songs really seem like last year more than this year. Hosier, Too Sweet, don't really know. Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars has been one that has had a lot of longevity and staying
It's a good
power
song too.
on the chart. It is a great song. The I Had Some Help song has crossed over, and so it's getting country play and it's getting pop play, so that's helping it. Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso may be the dark horse in this category because it's one of those that has just kind of permeated everywhere. It's like in places you don't really expect it to be, that she would be an outsider. You know, so I'm starting to talk in derby language, you know, as we're turning into next week. So anyway, it'd be interesting to see. The American Music Awards are coming
next
up
week,
in
isn't it?
May
can't-
26th.
I can't name you a single horse in the Derby right now.
Nor can I. No, and I won't worry about it until next week. Interesting thing about the AMAs, typically they are later in the year. This is the reason some of these songs are thrown off. They've moved to May, or recently moved to May. Taylor Swift is no longer the world's youngest self-made woman billionaire. I mean, she's still a billionaire. She didn't like lose her money. Kelsey didn't like steal all her money and run off or anything. She still has it. She's just been eclipsed by someone else. She has been eclipsed by Lucy Guo, or Guo, G-U-O. She's a 30-year-old, and she co-founded the company Scale AI, an AI company, in 2016. And she left the company in 2018, but she still got a 5% stake in the company, which is worth an estimated $1.2 billion.
You get it, girl.
Yeah, so 5% of the company worth $1.2 billion. I'd take it. I'll take the other 95%. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. MB's Point to Ponder. We're going to talk pet peeves coming up here on In the Know.
One of the most common questions people ask is this: where is God when we suffer? I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I would say this: God doesn't abandon us in our pain. He's with us in it. Hardship makes us feel isolated from God, from everyone, but we don't have to search for God in the clouds when we feel alone. He's right there with us wherever grace and truth are found. He's in charity work and shelters and in religious communities. He's in hospitals where people hope and pray for good news about their loved ones. He's wherever justice is served and truth is defended. God also reveals himself through prayer, reflection, and Bible study. It's through Scripture that we discover God is intimately acquainted with our pain and sorrow, and that he transforms our struggle into opportunities for growth, resilience, and a closer relationship with him. Most importantly, God is found in us. That's right, in you and me. Human beings don't always treat each other the way we should, of course. But when we act the way God created us to, good things happen. We love and care for one another. We seek what's best for our friends, our coworkers, and our neighbors. Where's God when we suffer? He's not hidden. He's right there with us, in our pain. It's in the darkness that God's light shines on us the brightest. For more to help you thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County, because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. By the way, it's in honor of Lee Major's birthday earlier this week. He played, he was Colt on the Unknown Stuntman. So this is the theme from the Unknown Stuntman. MB's Point to Ponder for today. Here are a list of pet peeves. We're going to have to go rapid fire, but in each category, I'd like to know which you identify as your greatest pet peeve of the ones offered. Travel pet peeves, clapping when a plane lands, standing in the aisle as soon as the plane lands, flight attendants who want to be stand-up comedians, shoeless people on airplanes, driving too slow in the fast lane, or following too closely. Those are travel pet peeves.
Do I have to pick one of those?
You have to pick one of those. It can't be turn signal, Sam. Sorry.
That was it. That was the correct answer for travel. I mean, the shoes off thing is more just nasty. Like, I don't know that it's a pet peeve. It's more just like you're nasty.
Tailing.
You're gonna go too closely. I'm going slow in the fast lane.
I knew that. I would have bet any amount of money that was going to be you.
I don't mind if you clap when the plane lands. It's like, okay, fine.
Well, I mean, do you know anybody
I'm not
that stands
a fan
up
of
when
the
the plane
comedian
lands?
Unless you're good.
Listen, when it as soon as it lands, like you're not supposed to. No one's supposed to stand as soon as it lands, but up to the gate. I do know someone who blocks her position. We had a kid.
Not naming any names, though, are you?
We had a kid jump in front of us the other day, and his mama nearly wore him out. Remember when he said, "What are you doing?" That's funny.
You get it, Mama.
Dining pet peeves: clapping when a waiter breaks a dish, bad tippers, chewing with an open mouth, eating noisily, texting during a meal, not knowing your food order, constantly ordering wrong, or overcomplicated check splitting.
Open mouth.
Clapping when the plate? I've never seen that.
Struggle with that.
I've never seen that.
That would bother me.
Yeah, I've never seen that as somebody who worked in a restaurant. Yeah, I've never seen that.
As a server, if somebody clapped, it would make me angry. But I'm sorry.
Now,
if you chew with your mouth open, that's always going to take the cake.
What we'd always do is, if it happened in the back of the house, we'd always yell "job opening," but that was always just a thing.
So it's a commemoration of.
Yeah, but
in the cafeteria at school, though, when somebody dropped their tray, the cafeteria never applauded.
Not that I know of.
Really?
We weren't jerks.
That's where that's born out of. That's where that. I guess that was just an '80s Breakfast Club thing. Work pet peeves: busy business people who needs to know their business, who needs others to know their business. Micromanagement, stealing food, leaving old food in the community refrigerator, or reply all.
Probably the first one. We had some old food get in our fridge.
We definitely did.
What was the first one?
Busy business people who need others to know their business. You know, I've been so busy. I was working on this and I had to deal, and you would never believe who I had to deal with today. And blah, 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 blah. Good old-fashioned general pet peeves: rude behavior aimed at service professionals, leaving lights on, leaving drawers and cabinet drawers open, close talking, workout brags, posting daily workout photos on Instagram, The list is getting longer. Constant talk about diet, acting like a know-it-all, one-upping, passive-aggressiveness, cutting the line, walking too closely, constant tardiness, early arrivals, interrupting and talking over people, raining on parades, humble bragging, being a bad sport, borrowing money and not paying it back, not holding the door open, grandstanding, sharing other people's stuff, being coy on social media, talking during movies, noisy unpackaging during the movie, and using old slang.
All of the
You're just
above.
gonna take
There's a
all-
lot of them that I
There's
could
too
agree
many.
with.
It
Yeah.
would be hard to. It would be hard to carve one out. There's several in there and go, yeah, I'm all in on that.
Passive aggressive gets me.
Today's highlight in history, this date 1916, Irish Republicans launched the Easter Rising, a rebellion against the British rule in Ireland. Birthdays today, Shirley MacLaine is 91, Barbara Streisand is 83, Cedric the Entertainer is 61, Baseball Hall of Famer Chipper Jones is 53, Kelly Clarkson is 43, country singer Carly Pearce is 35 today. I think she's from Kentucky.
Yeah, I think she's from my neck of the woods, I believe.
Is she from
I believe she's from
Kentucky?
Campbell County.
We need to have a conversation another day because
Yeah, she's from Taylor Mill.
Talked the other day about people who are from northern Kentucky never say they're just from Kentucky. It's like they got
from northern Kentucky.
It's like I'm a northern Kentucky. It's like you
But
don't
I mean,
really
Eastern Kentucky would probably say the same way.
It's like, yeah, but Kentuckian first. I don't know. I mean, that's typically where are you from? See, I think if you were, I think northern Kentuckians, if you traveled to, I said we weren't going to talk about this today, but we are.
Clearly.
If we went to California and we ran into someone in Los Angeles and they asked me, where are you from? I would say I'm from Kentucky. If they ask where you're from, you would say northern Kentucky.
No, I'd probably say Kentucky. I'd probably say Kentucky. I'd probably say Kentucky.
My answer is always Kentucky, about an hour south of Louisville. You know, the Derby. Always.
Yeah, KFC.
And see, and it's always
I
funny
never use that.
for me here is I always say, you know, I'm from northern Kentucky, just south of Cincinnati. If you know the water tower, yeah, that's me. I grew up right by the water tower.
Y'all. Let's see. I didn't find any passings, any birthdays from the gone but not forgotten category that I thought worthy of being not forgotten.
Oh wow!
So that's why they're missing today.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I scrutinized the list pretty heavily, but I just couldn't do it. Chart toppers, 1954, the Ames Brothers. This is called The Man with the Banjo. I got to tell you, when I heard the title of the song, I really thought for a higher beats per minute. You know, any banjo song I would think is somewhere around like 120 beats per minute or something. But here we are. Okay, the Ames Brothers have gotten way too much attention. Let's go to 1963, Little Peggy March, and I Will Follow Him. Our Moose friends are out of here in 20 seconds. We'll catch you all tomorrow on a Friday.
Get Brandon Garrison on KSR today.
Oh, is he on there?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Little Peggy. We appreciate it. Let's go to... This is odd that Jerry Lee Lewis was still having hits in the 70s. 1972. He was probably broke and had to come up with a hit.
Now this is the killer speaking.
This is Chantilly Lace.
Do I?
Come on. There's the killer. All right, thank you. Let's go to 1981. Grover Washington Jr. and Bill Withers with Just the Two of Us. All right, we got to get to the 80s because this is one that's overlooked. But you hear it, everybody knows it. 1990. Heartbreak Hotel, Whitney Houston, Faith Evans, and Kelly Price in 1999. Love Song, Sarah Bareilles in 2008. Bruno Mars, That's What I Like, #1 in 2017.
I don't think I've ever seen that video.
Yeah, it's, as I say, videos were done differently in that era. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Life is the only game in which the object is to learn the rules. Life is the only game in which the object is to learn the rules. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB. Now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG, Litchfield. The